So God of War finally released its anticipated DLC, and with it came 12 trophies to obtain. So let's quickly grab them, shall we? Also, spoilers in this video, because, well, duh. So how is this DLC? Well, it's longer than Modern Warfare 3's campaign, am I right? But overall, this DLC is fine. It is nice to say, though, that I did enjoy a game that has Valhalla in it. It's basically a roguelike where you go in, kill some enemies, if you die, you wake up at this beach, you upgrade some stuff, and then you repeat the cycle. So the DLC starts with Kratos and Mimir chilling in a boat trying to reach the shores of Valhalla. We eventually do arrive on the shores of Valhalla, and it looks like Thanos just snaps away all of our upgrades and all of our armor. Speaking of, I got an Infinity Gauntlet right there. So you play this DLC as vanilla Kratos, as in you start the game all over again, pretty much. But as I said, the more you play, the more you kill, the more you're able to upgrade Kratos. After wandering around on the beach, we notice this gigantic door, and this is the door into Valhalla. We open the door, but something just really doesn't seem right.
Something is wrong. I feel weaker.
I've got a shield. After dealing with our first enemies, we come across this chest, and we'll be opening quite a lot of these, as you will find these chests across the DLC, and these chests give you different upgrades, different perks, just anything really. But it doesn't take long before we are hit with our very first death.
Oh dear.
We then find the actual reason that we are in Valhalla is because someone left a note on our door.
Nailed to our door 3 days ago.
Kratos of Sparta, you are hereby invited to a challenge. Face the past, face the future. Master Valhalla, master thyself.
And after this cutscene ends, we pop our first trophy of the DLC. Before entering Valhalla again, we quickly have to select a shield since, well, our other one didn't really open. And now it's time to start our very first official run in Valhalla. Now, obviously, we breeze through our first run. While God of War's combat can be really deep if you proper go into it, you can pretty much spam the same combos, and that'll get you through the game quite effectively. We interact with this cloud thing, and we get teleported to see an old site.
You recognize your old seat, don't you?
Kratos ends up getting a headache, and next thing we know, we're back on the damn beach again. We then change up a few of our armor sets and pop ourselves a second trophy. Throughout our runs, we're also going to be looking to enter each of the 9 realms. The realms you enter differ between your starting selection, and after a few runs, you will get this trophy no problem. There's also quite a few mini bosses in this DLC, and these bosses are pretty much fights that you've done in the main game, which is quite cool. You can even fight Thor's sons, which is pretty sick. I don't know why we can't fight Thor, but there we are. Okay, that was... that was quite easy. We then get an encounter with an old friend from a previous God of War game.
You really are going places in Valhalla.
Where's Mimir? Hello, Helios.
And to be honest, I kind of welcomed this change at the start. At least it'd be nice not having Mimir saying behind you, brother, or some stuff like that. Next up, we arrive at this chamber with a cage inside, and this area just screams God of War 3 vibes. And this is where I say, if you want a video of me platinuming all the God of War games, yes, all 6 of them, get this to 1,000 likes. I really hope I don't regret saying that. Now time for easily the coolest part of this DLC. I've got the fucking blade of Olympus! We stick Helios in this incinerator, and suddenly Mimir is swapped out, and Kratos cannot stop the fire, but eventually the cage is blown open, and I can only describe this scene as something from Final Fantasy. Like, it's just visually stunning. Eventually, Sigrun does come in and aid us from falling, while being on fire, since she shouldn't really be in Valhalla since she hasn't died. And you'll never guess where we end up. After arriving back at the beach, we do pop ourselves our 3rd trophy. We do a few more runs and come across this thing again, and we just about managed to take him down. That was awful. We then use this sort of zip wire across to the final area of the DLC. This area has these summons all over it, and in order to advance, we need to clear a certain amount of enemies, and the amount increases every time you go through this area. We arrive back at the cage, but this time, it's Kratos that feels the burn. And after that, we arrive at the final area of the game and meet someone very familiar.
Tia. The invitation was yours.
After a brief conversation with Tia, he tells us that he's here to train us. And then...
Because you're not ready yet.
Now, this fight is rather easy, though I will say the final time that you do this fight, he's a bit more annoying. But for the first time, we take him down. Dead. First try.
Well done, Kratos.
And fighting him for the first time does net ourselves a trophy. We then do a few more upgrades once we arrive back at the beach. Are you tired of this yet? We grab another trophy for picking up this artifact on our next run. We then beat him down for the second time. And one thing I do like is that he has a different weapon every single time you fight him. So props to whoever was involved with making this boss fight, because it is kind of cool that it's different every single time. Then once again, we go through our next run. We punch him once again. And every time you beat him, you do get some of these cutscenes that do give you a bit more lore on Kratos. Then after returning to the beach again, we change up our Spartan Rage, and we can actually use the Blade of Olympus properly. Needless to say, this was instantly getting equipped. Bro, just look at how fun this damn thing is. I feel like I'm back in 2010. Then we beat up one of Thor's sons again. Again, why can't we fight Thor? I thought that, like, oh wait, I just realized in the lore he didn't die, so that's probably why we can't fight him. Anyway, we then pop another trophy for picking up another artifact. You'd think I'm playing Uncharted picking up all these artifacts. We then pop another trophy for getting 15,000 echoes in a single run. Does anyone else have flashbacks to 2018 God of War? We fight Tyr once again, but this time he absolutely ruins me.
Remember, it isn't supposed to be easy.
On our way back to him, we finally pop a trophy for visiting all of the realms. And on our next run, we pick up the third boat captain key for the trophy. And then on the fourth attempt, we managed to beat Tyr. We then have this absolute masterful cutscene with Kratos meeting younger Kratos. And this made the grind through the DLC just so worth it.
And everyone, you begin. There is no forgiving you. You chose!
And Kratos sits on his throne once again. I don't think this DLC is that good, but the story aspect of the DLC is really, really good. I don't think it's worth doing all that Valhalla stuff to get to that cutscene personally. Even though that cutscene is really, really good. And of course, we popped the trophy for beating the DLC, but we're not done yet. Now, just 2 trophies left. The first one is to fight in the Forum Arena. We get destroyed, but thankfully my skill is not required for this trophy, so let's get that trophy. And then for the final trophy in the DLC, to master 9 different goals. This could be beat Tyr with each of the shields equipped. It could be fully upgrade your health and all of your Spartan Rage. There's a lot of different goals that you can do. They're not really that difficult. And they can be kind of fun, I'm not going to lie. Now, the DLC is done. If you guys want to see me platinum the main game, click here.